Hello, everyone. It's April 9th. It's Thursday. I want to welcome you all back to our session today. We are talking with MSC Cruises today. Let me just bring Lucy on the line as well with us.
Good
Hey,
afternoon,
Lucy.
everybody.
Hi, good afternoon. Lucy is the Northeast New Jersey
New
region.
Jersey. New Jersey.
And you've been with MSC for a long
It will
time.
be 23 years this September.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it is a long time.
We're going to wait for a few people to join us. I'm sure a lot of people would want to hear what's going on with MSC here in the U.S. and in Europe as well. Um, what can you tell me about the company? What's going on right now?
Well, I can tell you that it's crazy when you think that it's just not just the United States. It's all Europe, and that we're all doing the same thing at the same time, and we're all quarantined and staying home. So not only is my headquarters, which is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, everybody's home based. Same thing in Geneva in our headquarters. Same thing in Spain. Um, all of the offices are working from home right now. And, we do have our container company. And just to let you know, the container company as well is also the same way. They're all working from home right now. Everybody is doing really well. And all the systems we have in place are actually working. So as fast as they put this together, it's good right now.
And normally, how many ships do you have here in the area?
So in the area out of the US, we've had 4 ships this past season. And that's pretty much what we'll be rotating out of Miami, between Miami, and then the Armenia is going to be moving to Tampa in November. And then next year in November, we'll have the Divina in New York for a couple sailings, which will be great. So we're really looking forward to that.
Um, See, people are asking. Judas asking if anyone has been on their new ships. I've actually been on Seaside in Miami. I've been on Seaview in Italy. I've been on Meraviglia in New York and in Miami. Divina, I said, yeah, Divina. Divina was actually my first cruise ever. My first when Divina came
Really?
to the U.S. I That was my first. I pretty much only. Started selling cruises. I've never been on a cruise, so the first 2 3 days of Divina in Miami was my first cruise. My last cruise was on MSC Seaside, and that was my 22nd. So in about three and
Wow.
a half years, I did about 23
You're
cruises.
ahead of me.
But yeah, I personally really like the ships and what they have to offer. Um, Being honest, it's not for everyone, but there's an amazing market for them. And the people that I sent, they came back. They're happy. We've had, unfortunately, we canceled over what 250 bookings for the
Too
summer.
many.
Yeah. So
Too many. It's very sad.
we our business with MSC was supposed to pretty much be, I think, the best ever. And this came up. So we will try and recover. Everyone will try
We
and
we
recover.
will. And I am a firm believer that we are going to come back stronger than ever as an industry. Is it going to take some time? Yes. I do have this other feeling of mine that I believe October, November, and December might be our early wave season for 2021, which I know would be great for everybody and everybody would love. They would have no problem being that busy. Um, I do think that your older clients are going to be the ones that are going to hesitate to travel. They're the ones that are going to second guess being stuck somewhere, whether it's a ship or on land somewhere. Um, so that might be a little, they might really postpone things, I think. But I think the younger generation is going to want to get out of wherever they are. Because I
Yeah,
know I do.
I think the older crowd, the first time cruisers, that might be an issue. I see Justin is saying that he did Seaside for his honeymoon, 21 days. Wow, 21 days.
Nice.
I assume with 21 days, that means like back to back to back, right? I don't think the Seaside is.
No, he did. It looks to me like he did a maiden voyage. So actually, he was on the ship when I was on the ship,
Oh,
which may have been I boarded the ship in Antigua and sailed the ship from Antigua into Miami towards the end of his cruise, when she first went to Miami before we had the inaugural celebration there. So that's awesome. I
yeah.
like hearing things like that. But I can tell you this much, being with the company so long, the last 3 years alone, the product has tremendously, yes, I'm right. I love seeing when I'm right. The product has did a tremendous change. And I'm talking about the service, I'm talking about the food. Look, we can't please everybody all of the time, but we've done a fantastic job in the people that we're putting in positions to upgrade the products on board the ship. It's not necessarily always the products, though, that were on the ship. It may be our processes in getting those products to the client. In other words, how fast it's taking us to get your dinner in the dining room. Is the steak cooked too much? So we've done a tremendous amount of work, and our ratings have been soaring on all of the vessels. Our entertainment, there's no question that our entertainment is phenomenal. The different shows we have on board this ship. But as far as the food and the services on board, we've come a long way with that. A long way. But I just want to touch on a couple things to make sure everybody's aware of the policies and where we're at right now with our cruises. Initially, when we announced our suspension of cruises, it was going to be for 30 days. So it was actually from March, I believe it was like March 13th is when I heard about it. So the 14th, 15th, the 16th, maybe we announced it. We suspended all our cruises until the end of April. And then about a week and a half ago, we added another month to that. So we've suspended all our cruises until May 29th. And I use May 29th as the date because May 30th, technically, as of right now, is supposed to be our first sailing date. Now, with the fluid situation going on, we know that's very possible that that could change at any given moment. Fingers crossed, everything I can cross is crossed, that we do sail on time. But I just want to make sure everybody is full aware of our MSC Cruise Assurance Program, where your clients get the opportunity to apply for either a future cruise credit or a full refund. They have up to 48 hours in advance to cancel, providing they're going through the cruise insurance, and that's up to sailings, which we just extended till September 30th of this year. Keep in mind, if your client, you want to do everything you can to push your client for the future cruise credit. They're getting an extra 25%. They're going to use it for a future cruise. And on top of that, it's valid until the end of 2021. At that time, if they do not use the future cruise credit, we will automatically give them a refund. Okay, I'm saying automatically, but
okay.
I wouldn't say.
Can you repeat that?
Yes. So let's say you had a client booked for June 5th, and they decided, Roy, I want to cancel the cruise. I want to do an FCC. They have up until December 31st. I'm sorry, December 31st of 2021 to use the FCC. If at that time they don't, they're not going to lose their money. We will then refund them the money.
Interesting.
So
I haven't seen another cruise line do that. That's interesting.
God
That's very
forbid
positive.
this craziness stays around too long. So it is a clause that's in there, which is great. It's really great. I want to make sure everybody knows that the best way for you to process these cancellations is to use MSC Book or MSCCruisesusa.com. Now, just so you know, if you do not have a username and password for MSCBook.com, you don't need one to process the cruise assurance. You can go onto the website and you can go ahead and process your client's cancellation. Why sit on the phone on hold when you could literally do it yourself in a few seconds? We are all here. We are all working from home. I have the state of New Jersey. So if you are from another state in the USA, you can find all the BDMs listed on MSC Book. So they're more than willing to help you because this is what we're home. So the refund on FCCs, yes. So currently on any of the canceled cruises that we've canceled, we are protecting your agent commission. I just saw a question come up. On the original canceled booking and commission on when you use the FCC.
Okay. So again, they get commission on a canceled cruise and whatever they book in the future.
That is correct. That is correct. And I've actually seen that it's so to bring up refunds, just for a point of reference, on our cruise assurance policies and procedures, it does let you know that when you cancel a cruise, the refunds are pretty much being processed in sailing date order. So the refund for your guest is 60 days from the date of the cruise.
60.
I wish I could say it's sooner. So if you had a client that was going to sail May 15th, it's 60 days from May 15th where we're going to process the refund. I have seen some of the commissions on bookings when I was in the system yesterday that have been paid out, which is great. Now we need to get on the refunds and get them out. I know they're just trying to finalize all the procedures, make sure that when you get the FCC, it's for the right amount. So it may be taking a little longer. So I do apologize for that. But we want to do it and we want to do it the right way.
And the FCCs will get an email. Is that an actual certificate?
It's going to be an actual certificate. Yes. Yes. I've been involved in the testing process and I was blown away by the technology, but it was pretty.
Nope. I think we lost Lucy for a second. Okay.
So the FCC is going to be minus G.
We lost you for a second, but you're good now. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So did you hear what I just said or no?
No. If you could repeat regarding the FCC.
So the FCC, when you get it, so let's say the clients paid $1,500 for the cruise. You need to we will be refunding the guests the government fees and taxes and any prepaid items. So the FCC amount is going to be less those two items.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So someone is saying, Mark is saying that after a year, if they decide they don't want to go, and they will get a refund to the original amount paid. So if they chose that option a year from now, will we still get paid commission on the FCC not used?
That is a good question. And I really would have to get back to you on that one.
If you
That's
could
a good
follow
question.
up with this, I would think logically no, but
I would think logically no. You'd get the commission on the canceled cruise, and if the client in the future decides not to use the FCC, I don't know. I don't even begin to imagine how we would even track that. So for now, I'm going to say no, but I will definitely get an answer and confirm that back to you, Roy.
yeah, so I think it's an encouragement to get the client. It's an assurance for the client, so they're not afraid because they can always get the refund back, and your incentive to try and sell it, because it doesn't make any sense for them to pay you twice on someone who never sails at all.
Correct. And let me also, I just want to state something. I've been making a lot of phone calls and speaking to a lot of agents the last couple of weeks. I speak to agents who just accepting the clients canceling and not doing anything to further their business, or Debbie Downers, if you will. No offense to anybody. And then I've been speaking to some wonderful agents who are so positive and can't wait for us to go back. There you go, Roy. And who are looking for ways so that somebody has an FCC and they were booked in the Caribbean this year and they want to cancel, book them next year. There's great rates. There's great promotions out there. And you can definitely take advantage of it that way. And again, the client gets the FCC. Now, the one thing I do want to make clear is if you have somebody who's canceled a cruise and chose the FCC, now they canceled with you last week, and they come to Roy and they say, Roy, I'm ready to book my cruise. I want to book December 31st of this year. What do? I want to take advantage of your $49 promotion that you have out there per person deposit, and I want to book my cruise. The clients have to pay the deposit regardless. So you make the booking, you make a new booking, you put the deposit on the booking, and as soon as you get the FCC, we'll have the FCC applied. If, just so you understand that it isn't going to be in the terms and conditions, let's say your client's original cruise was $2,000 and their new cruise is only going to cost them $1,000. We would apply $1,000 of that $2,000 to their new booking, and the difference they would get in another future cruise credit. So we wouldn't take that money and apply it as a shipboard credit or anything else. It will go back to the client. So it's also a way of maybe talking to the client to sail in a higher category if that comes down the road.
But that's only if it's not, you're not dividing it by half. It's only if the new cruise is
Correct.
cheaper than the total amount of the FCC plus the new deposit.
Right. We will give them the difference.
The difference in
Well, you're gonna have a deposit on the booking already. Now,
Right.
so if you have $100 deposit on $1,000 cruise, there's $900 left that has to be paid. And your FCC, let's just say, was $2,000. We'd apply the $900, and the difference is what you would get
Okay.
in
It's
addition.
pretty similar to some others, except for the fact that we can't use it as deposit, but okay. And now your deposits are now lowered, right?
So currently, right now, we have a $49. We have a special promotion going, and it's a promotional deposit because the deposits are $49 per person across the board, FIT and groups, through June 30th. So any bookings you make from today till June 30th, the deposit is $49 per person. And that's another way of trying to help the clients because, we all know what this unemployment world is looking like right now. And people do want to hold on to their money, but it's a way of not having them spend a fortune to get a future vacation booked.
Okay. So MSC is basically an Italian company, right? Or I mean, I think the headquarters now is not necessarily in Italy. Now it's in Switzerland. Where's the actual?
So, in case you don't know, so I live in the US and I work for the US office, which is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Altogether, cruise wise, I want to say the number is somewhere between 49 and 52 actually offices that we have worldwide selling MSC Cruises. The owners of the company are Italian, yes, but we're a global company. So we no longer use the phrase that we're an Italian company. We're a global company. That's something that we've changed probably about a year ago. And a lot of that has to do with I will do a presentation and someone raises their hand and do you still do things in 5 languages? And the answer is no, we don't. Our language is English across the board. Will we speak different languages on board? Yes. If there's a large group of 300 Germans on board or Italians or regardless if they're not Americans, we will do the lifeboat safety drills in different languages. And the only other one we'll do in different languages is if they do when we debark for shore excursions. Sometimes there's a private shore excursion group for a particular language. They will debark those guests, so they'll announce the debarkation in that language. And the captain does always say hello and goodbye in as many languages as he knows.
And that's quite a few. I think I remember one of the cruise directors when they say in the good evening, I think they know like 25, 29
It's
languages.
amazing. I don't know how they do it. I find it mind-boggling. I find it very interesting that they do it. I really do. I think I am sure there's worry up there with all the companies that are not really cruise lines. I'm gonna knock wood, not today anyway. But we have the sustainability because of who we are. and how long we've been around. And it's not just the cruise line, it's the cargo company as well. And there's a whole MSC group conglomerate. Um, for example, in Italy, there's a fast ferry service called SNAV, SNAB, and they actually took one of the ships and changed it into a hospital in Italy.
Oh.
It's a fast ferry service, is what it is. But we did just get a new email update from the president of the company, and unfortunately, we did lose the president of our Spain office to this dreaded disease, who was with the company about 20 years. And so that stinks, just as everybody else is having their own experiences, and it's a tough pill to swallow. But we're not going anywhere. We're not. The buildings of the new ships, I have not seen any bit of information to tell us anything's been halted. The question becomes, when is the right time? Is the big question. When is the right time for us to go back to full force marketing and promotions? So we are not going to stop marketing and promoting to our travel agent email database, our consumer email database. What we're not doing is going and putting billboards up down the street. That's just money that would kind of be wasteful right now. But we do want to keep in front of the agents because, and all the feedback I've had, and if you have any, please share it with us. But all the feedback that's been coming to me is agents are grateful to see what we're sending because they want something to look at. They need something to be able to send to their clients.
We will occasionally get some, we'll call it deal seekers, people who are looking for stuff, and maybe just even ask questions from time to time, which personally I encourage. I did a networking meeting today, and I told people, give me a call if you're not sure, you don't know. I don't have much to do. It keeps me practicing. So if you are thinking about going away anytime next year, give me a call. We'll check. I have the luxury. You have the luxury that I'm quite free right now. Utilize me, and we'll check. So if you are sending the emails, you're you know how it is when you're touching the client, or for us, for you, the travel agents, we'll remember you. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good idea. Um, do
For
you
sure.
do you mind sharing again a little bit about the actual products, the ships, or the new ships, what they have on board, the Yacht Club for people who are not aware
Yeah.
about?
So currently, a prime example, even if you just use the ships that are in the U.S., would it be in before all of this wonderful stuff? The Seaside, the Meraviglia, Divina, and Armonia. I'll start with the Armonia. The Armonia is an older vessel, not a ton of balconies on her. She was redone and retrofitted, if you will, where she was cut in half and a whole center of balconies and specialty restaurants were put on board her. She does not have a yacht club on board her. Um, I got to see her when she first came to the US, in Miami, and she's an older ship, but walking around, everything looks brand new. Does it look older or from another year versus looking at the Seaside today? Yes, the Seaside and Meraviglia are all more modern and done different. But for me, it was like, oh my God, because when I started, the first ship I sold was the Melody out of Fort Lauderdale. And I was like, this is like being on the Melody. It was, so for me, it was great. I would have no problem sailing on that ship. It was nice with the amount of people. There's less people on board than going to a 3,500 passenger ship. When you go up to the Seaside, no, then you go to the Divina, which is slightly larger. Divina does have a yacht club on it. I actually sailed in the yacht club. Have you sailed in the yacht club, Roy?
Nope, nope, not
Okay.
yet. Maybe,
So
maybe. I,
maybe I'll tell you my favorite parts. So I got to experience the yacht club on the Divina. Um, One of my things, so I can't tell you all how long I've been in the industry, but just let's just say my daughter just turned 35. And I've been in it since she was 2. So if I go back, my favorite thing about cruising was getting on board the ship in New York or any port of call, meeting you for the first time. And the day I got on board the ship, out by the pool having a drink. The next day I saw you again. I saw you again. We started going to dinner together. By the end of the cruise, we were best friends and we exchanged phone numbers. And now we're back in our New Jersey and we're going to dinner together, having barbecues together. Um, that's what I miss about today's cruising. However, when I was on the Divina in the Yacht Club, it was the first time in years I felt that back because it was 72 suites, 150 guests. You saw the same people over and over. You had your own pool, your own dining room. So I kind of felt I had that same kind of feeling again. My other favorite thing about the Yacht Club was your embarkation. We were on the ship. By the time I got out of the taxi cab, I think I was in the Yacht Club in like 10 minutes. I literally dropped my bags and the butler walked me on board the ship. That and shore excursions, which was something I had not known about. It was not something they stressed to us. And that is when you go on a shore excursion, the butler will take you off the ship and that. But coming back, my husband and I were standing there and a butler was like, "Oh no, Miss Lucy, come this way, come this way." She's like, "Okay." And I was standing in line with all the other passengers. And he took me out of this line to another gangway, and I was on the ship in seconds. So those are my favorite things about the Yacht Club. I didn't really need the private dining room or any of that stuff. That and finding a lounge chair at any time of the day, no matter when you went out there. You didn't have to go out there and save it.
And I
You
mean,
would just do
the
it.
price point in general for MSC and specifically for Yacht Club, when you compare it to other cruise lines that offer similar concept of ship within a ship, your price is significantly has a lot of value in it.
And you bring up a very good point, and it's something I always point out when I do presentations for agents is if you have a client walk in the door and they want to book a cruise, a 7-night Caribbean cruise, um, my price point has to be lower than XYZ cruise line. Why is that? Because I'm sure if I asked anybody that was on the phone to name me the top 3 cruise lines, they'd probably not, I would hope they would, but maybe not yet, put MSC Cruises in there. So my price point when we come out, I shouldn't say but the company's price point always has to be lower. So if they're selling a cruise at $700 per person on February 1st, we have to be coming in at 650, 649, just to give those clients, because there is still that brand awareness, which has gotten tremendously better. But because there is still a lack of brand awareness out there, my price point has to be less. Does not mean that the product is any less, that the food is any less, and that the service is any less. It's just that in order to get those clients to go, maybe I should try them. Besides the status match program that y'all know that we have. So I'll just tell you quickly about that. Any of your guests who are members of a loyalty program for another cruise line or a hotel, we will match their status, and you can process that through the website. What you'll need is their card. Some guests may have multiple loyalty programs. You want to take the one that they have the highest level of, and we will match their status. Doesn't mean that I will give them whatever that cruise line or hotel gives them. We will match it to our level, and they'll get whatever amenities we give for those statuses.
Okay. We got a comment that someone's guest that was at the Yacht Club. They didn't like it. They didn't want to go back for some reason. Um, I don't know. Again, I can tell you personally from our cruises, and I did I did the status match as well. I'm Black Card, or now it's called Diamond Club, whatever they changed the name to, Diamond member with MSC. We like the product. I have a future cruise in Christmas. Hopefully, we'll still get to go. But so someone, okay, maybe I misunderstood. So she'll write it again. Hopefully it's a
Okay.
positive. Hopefully it's a positive one. Oh, yeah. But I've again, the people that I sent, I know a few. We've done a luxury session a few days ago, and we had Chip Barker. I know he had a big group with MSC All Yacht Club group back last year, and then he was supposed to have one this year, but it got canceled due to the virus. But it's a nice program. It's a really good product for the price. Amazing product for the price. They even have inside suites, which I've never seen at any other cruise line. So there's a is it
Correct.
just on Seaside and Meraviglia or Seaside Seaview?
Yeah, and then the newer builds we have put in, it was a big ask that consumers were asking for it. I personally don't understand it because I guess it's still exclusivity, but they did want insides inside the yacht club. So there are inside staterooms um, on certain vessels where you can definitely have an inside. I mean, it's good for families, just like, if you put your mom and dad on a balcony and the children on an inside, it's the same kind of concept, which is good, rather than
So
putting
I'm now
children in the
seeing
balcony.
I'm seeing Karen's comment now. She says she meant that they'll never go back to booking outside of the yacht club again. So they once they experience that level of service of the yacht club, they're not going to leave. So yeah,
Thank you for that.
I
And I have to agree
totally
with you.
yeah, I totally get it. I mean, again, I haven't personally experienced Yacht Club. I've seen it, similar with other cruise lines that offer that concept. It's always been a great hit. Being on a large ship, but still getting the experience of a smaller, more intimate. Uh,
Correct. Correct. And everybody has different opinions on which vessels they like. They there are agents that like the Divina better than they like the Seaside and Meraviglia. There are people who like Seaside better, Meraviglia or Meraviglia over Seaside. I can tell you my husband and I disagree on the ships. I'm still a 50-50 between Seaside and Meraviglia, where my husband we has not he oh sorry, he did sail on Meraviglia. He likes the Meraviglia better than the Seaside. So
um,
it's all a matter of opinion.
you guys also have you have a program, an academy, MSC Academy.
We do have the MSC Academy, so where it's www.mscacademy.com. You can go on. We've updated the first portal that's in there, so you're aware. Anytime you want to apply for a travel agent rate or a seminar at sea, you will need to have been a graduate of the academy. And yes, we do check to make sure you are a graduate of the academy. If you were once graduated, you don't have to graduate again, and that stays with you. Now, speaking of seminars at sea and travel agent rates, um, I personally do not have any scheduled this year so far. However, on the MSC book, you're able to find if there are travel agent rates available. And sometimes there might be last minute. Like I, I could be speaking out of line, but I could say, let's say we open for sale May 30th. I don't know how full the ship's going to be. There's going to be some cabins in June and July and August. If we were fortunate enough that that's the way that business is going to go, on our website is where you would find those agent rates. We
Right.
do email blasts um, from our travel agent website. If you're to sign up on there, and you could sign up for our latest news if you haven't already done so, or we will do email blasts from there, but we don't necessarily do it all the time. But they are posted up on the website. If BDM in your territory has a seminar at sea, we personally would be emailing out the territory.
Yeah,
So
I've seen just before everything started shutting down, because Italy closed and you guys have a lot of international clients, then the ships weren't that full. And I've seen quite a few almost free sailings,
we
just tax
did.
port fees
Mm,
for travel
yeah,
professionals, of course, not for.
we did for, I think it was March and February. We had taxes and fees only. So for $300, you were going on a 7-night cruise, your entertainment, your meals, everything included.
And even regular, you still have the program where if you cruise on the, is it a 499 for the agent, and they
They
get
get on, they
first
get on board.
on cabins?
Get on board, yeah. And if you sell FIT bookings, it's worth it for you to do to get reimbursed after you sell 10 staterooms
Yeah.
for the amount that you purchased your cruise for. Unless, of course, there's a GFTs only type of cruise.
Yes, but
You know,
again,
unless it's a,
for the most part, or just so you guys will know, they do have some programs. There's still probably the program where you get the points and you can redeem the points
Mhm.
towards I think it's checks,
Yeah,
right? You get
yep, yep,
10,000 points. Is I got a little over $1,000 last year, I think, from it. So it's that
yeah.
adds up.
And I always like to point out, if you have a client or two that you're going to book on a sailing date, it's worth it for you to look into the group rates, because maybe they'll get somebody else to go, maybe they won't. But, our groups are a minimum of 8 staterooms. And when you're talking 8 staterooms, so you book 2, you have a couple more cabins to book. If not, we protect the group back to their original stateroom. So you book 2 staterooms, nobody else can go. There's only 4 people booked on your group. You're still getting the group rate, you're still getting the amenities. And the worst scenario is we would ask you for proof of promotion. And that would take you 2 seconds, because you would just go on MSC Book and create a flyer. So we would have that in 2 minutes. So it's worth it for you anytime, you're looking for information. And speaking of information, sorry, on MSC Book, you are able to customize any of the promotions that we have. So if we have a love to cruise promotion or a reduced deposit promotion, you are able to take that, put your agency information on it, and you could go to the promotion, select whether you want a web banner, social media, email, and you can customize that and send it right out to your clients. And let's face it, right now, the only way your clients are going to keep thinking about you is either one, they're still waiting for money, two, they're thinking about a future vacation, or you're reaching out to them. So we're all stuck at home, either working all day like I am, or not working and having some free time. Reach out to your clients, call them, email them,
Yeah,
send them
I agree. A lot of the agents have been saying that you don't need to sell, but if you do reach out, and they'll appreciate it, and when they are ready, they will remember it, and then
It's working for me. It's working for me, just calling agents in my territory and just asking them, just checking in, seeing how you're doing. And it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but this last week, I've received several phone calls of agents wanting to take out group space for 2021. So it's a good thing, and it's maybe personal attention that we don't always have the time to give. Um, so maybe it's a good thing that comes out of all of this.
yeah. Well, we have to focus on the positive, and hope for
Absolutely.
yeah, and hope that everything will get back to normal soon. Um,
For sure, without a doubt.
I'm not
I'm
seeing that
looking
we have.
forward to it.
I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Trust me.
yeah. I think we all are. So I don't see that we have any more questions. So I wanted to thank you, Lucy, for the time.
You're
Um,
very welcome.
I encourage everyone to spend the time, educate a little bit about the product. Um, be ready when they call you. They might. I hate to sell MSC as it's a cheap. It's the price is low. I think it has a great
Correct.
value. But when people maybe still want to go and their budget is a little lower, I don't think you're getting. I think for the value, you are getting a really good product that I've experienced myself, and I'm selling, and I'm sending hundreds of my clients. So just make sure that you qualify them. If you have any questions on the product, reach out to your BDM, learn, use our group to ask questions. I'm sure a lot of us have been have sold or have personally been on the ship, either sailing or did a ship inspection. So
And
again,
I just want to add, I'm sorry to interrupt you, that if you have difficulty or you can't find who your BDM is, or You need information, let Roy know. I'll be more than happy to tell you who it is, if you can't find it on the website yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So yes, thank you. Lucy, thank you for the time. And
Thank you.
hopefully we'll chat again when we have
Yes.
new requests and new bookings coming up.
Absolutely. Everybody stay well, stay healthy, take care of you and your family first.
Thank you.
Then sell travel.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Bye, Lucy. Bye.
Thank you very much.